Welcome to the Grow Your Law Firm podcast, brought to you by PILMA. This podcast helps lead lawyers to more growth, profit, and freedom. Here is your legal marketing expert and host, Ken Hardison.
Hi, this is Gracie Howes with PILMA. Let's hit pause for just a second on this episode because I have to tell you about this event that every forward-thinking PI firm should have on their calendar this January. It's the AI for PI Expo in Orlando, Florida, January 15th through 17th. This is the very first conference of its kind dedicated entirely to showing personal injury firms how to harness AI to save time, cut costs, and grow faster. You'll get hands-on demos, practical training, and access to the best AI solutions built for law firms. Reserve your spot now at pilma.org/AI for PI Expo via the link in the show notes.
Hey, it's Jenna, Membership Growth Advisor with PILMA. If you're serious about growing your law firm this year, don't miss your chance to book a free law firm growth strategy session with me. We'll break down what's holding you back, identify the biggest opportunities in your firm, and map out the next steps to accelerate your growth. No pressure, just real strategy and direction tailored to you. Click the link in the show notes to schedule your free session.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Grow Your Law Firm. And today we have the honor and pleasure of having Jake Soffer, who is with FirmPilot. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Ken. Glad to be back and on for a second time.
Yeah, man. So for those out there that don't know what FirmPilot is, can you tell us what it is and what y'all do?
Yeah, absolutely. So what we've done is taken all the activities that your traditional marketing agency does, but we've built AI agents to do them, and what we see works faster and just with more data. So whether it's your Google Ads, your SEO, GEO, getting into ChatGPT, social media, the ability to scrape a whole ton of market data, a whole ton of legal data, and almost hold up an X-ray to your competitors to actually see what's working and what's not working, and use all that information to be way more intentional about the content our system creates for you. This started as a fun experiment for my brother's law firm, who's been blowing up in South Florida. Now we've done this with more than 120 firms and continue growing, and just love what we do, using AI to help firms get more cases.
I want to ask you something. So using all this AI, and I hear it depends on who I talk to, but I mean, one of the things, I guess it still is, you could tell me if I'm wrong, but still, one of the good things is having really good, relevant content. And you hear I have some people on the show here that say, no, don't let AI create your content. And I have some people say, well, let it create it, but then do it and then change it. Or then I have some people say, well, it's going to give you an outline and then you write it and then let it change. I don't know. What do you see in the best way to do it?
The first thing we tell everybody is, ignore them, their opinions, ignore your own opinions. It should be no one's opinion. It should be the data. And Ahrefs, who's the leader in SEO and GEO, released a study. They analyzed over 600 and something thousand websites. I could get you the exact numbers. I think it was 650,000 websites. 85% of the top ranking sites all had AI written content. There's a huge spectrum of AI written content. If you just say, hey, ChatGPT, write me a blog post about a car accident or about divorce law, that you should not do. The people who say don't use AI content are right if they were more specific there, which is probably what they're trying or have tried. And they're right. That is not good content. Number one, ChatGPT off the shelf does not know the law that well. It's trained on billions and billions of documents, pizza recipes, Shakespeare, sports history, movie scripts, science, the weather. That is a lot. And also the legal sources it pulls from, who knows how accurate? Reddit, Wikipedia. That's why you should not use AI content from ChatGPT. However, if you want to build it yourself, it took us 3 years and we've invested more than $8.5 million into our AI research team to build FirmPilot. We've built what we call a knowledge base. It's a knowledge graph for anyone who's a data enthusiast out there, combined with a vector database where we constantly crawl and scrape rich legal sources. So court cases, open source textbooks, niche legal journals, whatever we can get our hands on. And that's all our AI knows. So it's not pulling in from either non-legal related sites or untrusted ones like a Reddit or Wikipedia or something that might not be accurate. Second, ChatGPT, it's going to write high-level fluff. If you get hit by a car, call a car accident attorney. If you're fighting with your spouse, call a divorce lawyer. No duh. Even if it's accurate and doesn't hallucinate, that's not going to perform, because the way a large language model that powers ChatGPT works is it's memorization really more than understanding. You feed it a whole bunch of documents and it predicts the next word based on what you say it to write. A car accident blog. So it looks at everything it has, not just a car accident blog article, but even remotely similar. So car manufacturer guides, etc., and predicts the next word. It's just regurgitating. Versus if you can train it on a whole bunch of competitor data, market data, Google algorithm updates, ChatGPT crawler tactics to understand what the market wants to see, that's the data that we have and collect. We then know how to structure content and write content to perform. It's the exact same process. It doesn't matter whether it's AI and robots or humans. What we've done is we've built an architecture, machines that can follow that same process, but with way more data. So a human could do what FirmPilot did, but they'd have to collect data for 6 months and then think about each single word, link, markup schema, everything. What we've done is made it possible to do the work of 500 SEO experts in hours. So to answer your question, AI content can be good, but it depends where you get it from.
Okay, makes sense. So with all this using AI the way you're using it in your company, so I would think that you sounds like you were depending a lot on data from the other what's going on in the market. So tell us, and this is something too. I see lawyers are guilty. Everybody's guilty of it, I guess. You see somebody else doing something, you just want to copy it, and it might be good, but what if they're doing it and it don't work? I mean,
yes.
So is there a way to figure out if their shit's working or not, and what's working and what's not working, or where they're really strong at and what you need to do? Instead of just looking at RFs or SEMrush, is there something else we should be looking at as law firm owners to figure out what our competitors are doing and what we can do to get ahead of them?
Yeah.
That's the name of the game, right?
That's the name of the game. It is competitive. So walking that equation backwards, Hrefs, Moz, SEMrush, fantastic tools, but they're leading indicators. It doesn't tell us the end goal. Did we win? Is this working? The only thing that matters are leads. I can't help the firm sign the cases the same way you can't, no agency can, but qualified leads. That means if that number is going up, this is working. So you have to have conversion tracking set up. This can't just be gut feeling, because we've seen this happen. Gut feeling, yeah, I think it's getting better, but maybe those leads are coming from more word of mouth or radio or TV or billboards. And then you go ahead and invest more in something that's broken. And you definitely don't want to do that. Before that, of how do I use the market data, the competitor data that's out there? There's do's and don'ts. If you see a competitor ranking well for something, how much can I get for a truck accident case? Or how much does a DUI attorney cost? Whatever it is you're trying to rank for. And you see their blog post number 1. The worst mistake we see people potentially make is take that exact blog post and just slightly change it. That, what you see right there on the surface, is not the only reason why that firm's blog post is ranking there. They have backlinks that are pointing to it. They have internal links pointing to and from that page. The markup schema, the domain authority of their site, on and on and on. There's all these different variables beyond just the pictures and the text you see on the page, the surface level. So do not fall for that trap. That is one small piece of data, the text and pictures you see on the page. And we see people make that mistake. My competitor ranks for this keyword, and when I search it, this page or this blog post is there. So I have to do the exact same thing. And then
I want to ask you something.
Yeah.
I want to interrupt you. I'm sorry. I don't like to do this, but I'll forget it.
Go for it.
Domain authority. Can you explain to our listeners and viewers what domain authority and why it's important, and what they should be shooting for, and how do they know if they're at 50 or 60 or whatever?
Yes, great question. So there's domain authority, domain rating. They're basically the same thing, depending which tool you get it from. There are algorithms from different SEO reporting tools out there. The simplest, the 30-second explanation is, imagine if Google gave you a reputation score of how authoritative is your site, your business, is the simplest way to explain it. Now, what we explain to everyone is there is no magic number. It's all relative. So a lot of people don't realize this, that it's literally a relative grading system. It's not a bar that we all need to be at 60. If someone else in your market is going up, someone else in the market, hopefully not you, is going down, because it is how authoritative you are compared to others in that same market, or what those SEO analytic tools think you compete against for mind share out there for the terms you're going for. So there's not a magic number. There are rules of thumb. Like, obviously we love to see stuff. If you're a young firm, get into the high teens, then the 20s, then the 40s. And as you mature, we want to get in the 50s and 60s and stay there. It's important to remember domain authority, domain rating, whichever you're looking at. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. Many firms who have just said, I'm going to buy the most expensive $100,000 worth of backlinks. That does not look organic to Google. Maybe you spike in a 3-month period, and a year later, you lose a lot of that. And also,
but it does help. It does help if you can get one or two, like from somebody that, like if you're like a 20 and you can get 2 or 3 good links from somebody that's got a 50 or 60, that's going to help you, right? Or not?
Absolutely, it can. Yeah. Okay. And backlinks, link building is something done over a consistent period of time. The tools want to see you're consistently building links, not choppy, not once every year.
Yeah. And it's quality versus quantity, right?
Oh, yeah. Quality.
It used to be quantity 10 years ago.
Oh, yeah. It was how many links can you get? Didn't matter who, where from. It wasn't pure quantity, but it was pretty big. So the original Google ranking algorithm, if you want a quick 60-second history lesson, is called PageRank. And the primary factor was how many other, called RankBrain. And most of the weight was how many other pages rank to your page. So yes, it literally used to be quantity, but now that has shifted a lot.
Okay, I'm sorry I interrupt you. We went off on a tangent, but get back to what you're talking about, the data and what you look at and what do you do? How do you spy on your neighbors?
Yes. So it's not secret data. It's publicly available data. But if Ken wanted to pull all of it, he'd be sitting at his computer 24 hours a day for months and months on time to craft one blog post or one link building campaign. The point is, with machines, we've trained them through AI to think like that, and they can do it in what we call a multi-threaded system. So we can do all these jobs at once too. So it acts as 1,000 people at the same time. It's not one job after another. So we're looking at what backlinks did your competitors get this month, and did their domain authority go up or down? What did they change on their pages from actual text, markup schema, images, metadata that moved them up and down? What changed on our website? What mentions do we have across the web? Everything that SEO people and experts have always looked at traditionally, but it is physically impossible for them to be 1,000 places and eyes on 1,000 different balls at once. And that's what we've enabled.
And then you were talking about, knowing where your cases are coming from. I call that attribution, but
yes,
to me, it seems like it's harder and harder, especially with bigger firms that are doing TV, radio, billboards, LSAs, on the mats, PPC, SEO, social media, on all 5 of those, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook.
And there's just more and more coming out.
Yeah, and they got the blogs. You got this, you got that. How the hell? I mean, used to, when I was practicing, we didn't have the internet, we didn't have social media. It was TV, yellow pages, video, and billboards, and you used tracking numbers, and that was it. I mean, but now you can look at the last touch attribution, but that might not be the whole deal, right? It's so much involved in it.
Yes, And that's what we tell everybody. Oh, this person found me through organic or an ad click. But maybe they saw your social media post yesterday and then through retargeting found you. So you cannot look at just last touch. And through call tracking, through Google Tag Manager, which if you don't have Google Tag Manager set up, that's an immediate thing that has to be fixed. Because
So tell our people what Google Tag Manager is.
It's a way to put tags all across different assets of your firm across the web. So we can log every single click that happens. Did they click a call on their own mobile device? Did they fill out a contact form? Which page did they do it on? We can send all of that data to your case management system. What we do at FirmPilot, which is really cool, is we send that data back to FirmPilot, and that helps reinforce the content we should be writing, the links we should be getting, because we have this feedback loop of what's working in real time, not 6 months from now.
Yeah. Well, I think that's, the deal is, what is it that guy said? I know half of my marketing is working. I just don't know which half, and I think that's always been a problem. I think it's a lot harder now than it used to be, but this tag stuff, we actually do that. We run PILMA runs a lot of Facebook ads, and it's been really good. And we tag each ad because we got maybe 5 or 6 different magnets and see which one. And then we let them know whether it's a good lead, a bad lead, whether we converted, then they can change how they do stuff so that they make it work better.
And we've automated that feedback loop and collect a lot more data. Yeah. For the firms we work with.
Yeah. Yeah. What else do you think is important for people to know about today that's going on about AI and different things?
Because there is a lot of hype around how do I get into ChatGPT? How do I get into Gemini? How do I get into Claude? Number one, we want to make sure everyone knows, don't panic. It is still the early days. I mean, the people who started SEO 15, 20 years ago, do they have a head start? Absolutely. But are they guaranteed to be number one forever? No, we've seen many people who crushed it in SEO not crushing it anymore. So don't panic because it's still the early days. Number two, don't think you have to throw out everything that's ever worked. That is not the case. We've had people ask, do we need to rebuild our website? Maybe, but for other reasons. At the core of it, GEO, generative engine optimization, or AEO, whatever you want to call it, LLM optimization, there's a lot of different terms floating out there, whatever you want to call it, it still has the same foundations of SEO. You're just turning those variables and knobs a little bit more left or right. So just one random example that we figured out at FirmPilot is you can look at what's called a fanned out query. So let's say someone asks ChatGPT, who is the best lawyer for XYZ, injury, divorce, bankruptcy, whatever it may be. And what ChatGPT, Gemini are set up to be is a conversation. When Ken and Jake have a conversation, very rarely is it Jake asks one question, Ken gives an answer, end of conversation. It's usually a back and forth, right? So these AI user experiences are anticipating a next question. If you can look at what it thinks is going to be the next question after an initial query, well, then you can take that information and use that to craft content. So what else should we talk about? The other subsections in a blog article, a practice page, whatever it may be. So that's one huge learning that we've learned how to do is predict what, based on a query that we're trying to get mentioned for, what is going to be the next logical set of queries in a user interaction with ChatGPT, with Gemini. And those are the types of contexts that we need to include in content to rank for the original query. And that has helped a lot. Our clients, number one, are really, really good at getting ChatGPT mentions, Gemini mentions, and we get emails and text all the time from them. It's awesome saying, I just got another case from ChatGPT or Gemini or an AI overview because we can set up tracking. It's awesome. But there's many things.
I was going to ask you, like, I don't know if I read this or it was on one of my interviews, I get it all mixed up, but I heard it like, if you get cited, like mentioning authoritative, like the Wall Street Journal or something, or a legal deal or something, or get voted the best firm in Charleston, South Carolina, best PI firm in Charleston, and that's put in the newspaper, which is digital. that could have a bearing, right? Or not?
Yeah, it's the same idea as backlinks. It still applies here. So it's the same foundation as SEO, backlinks. However, we're a little bit more thoughtful about it because when you do a query such as who is the best truck accident lawyer in Austin, well, these LLMs, the way they think or the way they process information is in what's called a chain of thought. So if Ken asked ChatGPT, who's the best truck accident lawyer in Austin, that is not the single question that ChatGPT is trying to process and answer to you. It asks itself a series or a chain of questions to build up to that answer. First, it's going to ask, well, what do I think Ken means by best? The attorney who's been around the longest, the one with the most Google reviews, the one with the best reputation online and mentions, the one with the most cases won, largest settlements. What kind of truck accident? Personal vehicle, commercial? What do I think this ChatGPT user is what do I think is going to serve them best? So it asks itself all these questions in a chain of thought and builds up to it. And if you know how to open up the box of that chain of thought in an LLM, you can see what are the sources that it's going to answer each of those questions in the chain. And great, we at FirmPilot know, those are the backlinks we should go get for our client.
Well, let me ask you this. Can you ask ChatGPT, say, I'm a lawyer and I do trucking accidents in Austin, and I want, when somebody looks me up looks up the best, what things are you looking at? What is your thought process? And actually find out what ChatGPT's thought process is, and then kind of work from that.
You absolutely can, which sounds so simple. However, keep in mind, we run tens of thousands of the same query over and over and over because it's not going to be the same chain every single time.
Yeah. I kind of make it easy for ChatGPT because when I got a problem or a question, I ask it, I say, ask me one question at a time if you need more information to give me an answer.
That does make
help
it
me
easy.
solve this problem. And it asks me questions. It'll ask me anywhere from 3 to 12 questions.
That's those predictive queries happening in the background.
Yeah. Yep. But I found that if I don't tell it to ask it one at a time, it'll ask it all. And that drives me nuts. So,
yep.
But I found it, I don't know. So all this stuff is new to me, and I'm still playing with it. And I think everybody is. Like you said something earlier, I think it is too early to know how it's going to settle down. You know what I'm saying? I think if anybody says they know exactly got the golden fleece or the silver bullet, they're lying.
No, it changes so fast. All we can do is follow the data. And that's, we're a group of data scientists that got pulled into the legal world through my brother. And all we can do is offer our skills to follow the data. Yeah. No one should claim to know the golden answer because, well, it keeps changing. So you see so much hype on LinkedIn and blogs about don't use AI content, use AI content. We're showing that clearly it works. We work with 100 different plus firms. They're winning, they're growing. We've raised just under $12 million from reputable investors like Thomson Reuters and HubSpot. It works. However, you can't just say, ChatGPT, write me a blog post. You have to be able to open up that black box and actually know where to look and dissect it and open it up inside. Now, what we've seen as people who know how to open that box, it is constantly changing. So we don't just build our machines, FirmPilot's AI engine, and say, okay, that's it. It's constantly evolving because it's changing so fast. It's so early.
I compare it to try to paint a moving train.
Yes.
Very hard,
Yes.
It's
not going to slow down. It's speeding up.
No. Okay. Well, we're about to the end. 2 things. Any other things that we need to cover that I didn't ask or should have talked about or that you think is important?
No, that's really it. I would just double emphasize how important the tracking is, because if you don't have Google Tag Manager set up, if you don't have call tracking, we can look at all the market data and competitor data in the world and say, okay, here's where we need to get. But it's way harder to draw the path there if we don't know where we're starting from.
Yeah.
So that is foundational, is having the tracking set up. So nothing new, but just re-emphasizing that. Yeah,
and I forgot to mention, you're going to be we're having, I'm really big on AI, even though I don't know how to type but I still, that's a great thing. That's a great big deal. I can just speak to it and it speaks back.
Love it.
But we're having the AI for PI Expo conference, and you're going to be there speaking. And
Yes.
it's January the 15th to the 17th in Orlando, Florida, at the JW Marriott. And I think we actually have the Ritz-Carlton attached to it. So if you want to put on the Ritz, I guess you can do that. But I'll be staying at the Marriott. But and I'm looking forward to you being there. And if somebody wants to go and talk to you, you'll be there the whole time, I hope. And in the meantime, somebody wants to get up with you before the conference. What's the best way to do that, Jake?
Yeah, really easy, Ken. Our website is just firmpilot.com, FIRMPILOT.com. And we put a bunch of these resources online for free to people to read. Anyone can schedule a demo if you want to see how it would work for your firm and, learn more.
I got one question before we leave.
Yes.
Did you have to buy firmpilot.com, or did you just able to get it just for nothing?
We did have to buy it, but it wasn't crazy expensive.
Yeah. I've seen some of these. I've looked up some of these things. It's just crazy. Some of
Insane.
the price.
I've seen 6-figure, 7-figure domain names. It's crazy.
Yeah. I actually had somebody come and try to buy this podcast, Grow Your Law Firm. Yeah, they offered me $30,000.
Keep it.
Oh no, I mean, I think I got it for nothing, but I did it 10 years ago.
Love it.
15 years ago. I mean, I've got over 300 URLs that I got 10, 15, 25 years ago. I mean, I just store them. Cost me, I'm going to lose money because I'm having to pay it. Yeah, but it could be. It's, but yeah, I just keep them. I don't even try to sell them. I just keep them. I feel like it's like a little investment, maybe.
Love it.
We'll see. All right. Until next time, this is Ken Hardison, dedicated to your success.
You have been listening to the Grow Your Law Firm podcast, the podcast that leads lawyers to more growth, profit, and freedom. Go to growyourlawfirm.com to find more ways to market and manage your law firm. Please leave us a rating and review wherever you listen to your podcasts.